East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD PrimeTime Capper, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. Boy, oh boy, it is a very, very good day today. I just got done with my first show with No Filter Network. I was excited about doing that with my man Henry, Eric Burnsy, all those guys, great guys over there. Tony Bruno also has a show over there as well too. So I feel a little big time now. So I really do appreciate the opportunity and everything like that. So you guys make sure to catch All In every Friday, 1 to 2 o'clock Pacific time. So hopefully next week we'll have some guests in as well too. I just want to kind of just get the show on the road and, just kind of get, figure out what the system's like and everything. And then we go from there. You know what I mean? So pretty much let's go ahead and get into it. 30 teams in 30 days. You guys already know what time it is. We are at our wits' end with the AL East. As you guys know, the AL East right now is looking like it's the Yankees' world and everybody else lives in it. But there's going to be a team that's going to have some say in this as well too. And this team's name is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays went 92-70 last year and literally looked like that they were going to be able to advance, but they ran into a very hot Mariners team. The Mariners went ahead, upended them, sent them home. So pretty much, if the Blue Jays was able to get further down the road, I think that they could have been the team that gave the Astros some issues. Because why? George Springer plays for him. So I wouldn't put it past him that George Springer would know that the tricks and the little tricks and trades that you need to take to beat these guys. But I'm looking at this team right now. When you look at their team 1 through 3, George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., OMG. You see 3 all-stars, and you see 3 guys that can really go ahead and set you up for great games night in and night out. When you look with the projections that they have for these guys this year is absolutely insane. They have these guys hitting 88 home runs as a group and literally almost 300 RBIs as well too. This is absolutely stupendous when you think about it. And then you have Bo Bichette and Vlad Jr. both with great batting averages as well too. So pretty much you have a very good look. And you guys, I got my interviews up right now too. I got the Schmo and Solomon Wilcott. So that should be fun. And Kenny Mayne. So pretty much yeah, man, I did over 40 interviews when we were in Arizona last week, and they just keep coming. I'm like, damn, I did a lot of work. But like I said just a moment ago on All In on No Filter Network, Alejandro Kirk is the one to me. And they don't have him projected as a 300 hitter, but he's going to be a 300 hitter next year. They got him projected at 278. And I know they're saying this because he's a catcher. And I know that it's going to be only so much, but the guy is so smart because you guys got to understand, they have him projected at 58 strikeouts, but 55 walks. So that means that he's not going to strike out a lot, and that means that he may be walking a lot as well too. Now, Matt Chapman is a guy that really is a luxury for this team. They have him projected to hit 30 home runs, but they got Vlad Jr. projected to hit 35. So they're looking at this team as if they're going to be the best hitting team in baseball next year. And I think that with a guy like Brandon Belt as another senior leader, somewhat vet leader, that's going to be very helpful. Whit Merrifield was a guy that was an absolute gem for the Kansas City Royals. He just is a little political, but he's going to be somebody that's good at the bottom of that lineup to steal some bases. Maybe you put him at the top of the lineup in certain spots as well, too. And then you have Kevin Cormier, who's coming off an injury, but he should be pretty good as well, too. But the thing that gets me is the pitching staff. Monea, good pick. Monea. Wasn't he the Cy Young last year? He looks like he can duplicate that. Kevin Gausman looks like he's headed for a monster season. They have him set up to strike out 202 guys next year with only 39 walks. Jose Barrios can go ahead and reestablish himself as one of the more dominant pitchers in the MLB. And I think that he will wind up being their workhorse as well, too. He's not going to miss that many games next year. I think that Jose Barrios is going to be a guy that goes deep into games as well, too. So I figure he should be really good. Chris Bassett, the former Met, he should be a guy that will possibly be the guy that might be the one that can be a little 50-50. He can be the shaky guy in a sense. But I think Chris Bassett is going to be able to just play off of the fact that the three guys in front of him are dominating. If they are dominating, you got to stay healthy. You know what I mean? But when you look at this pitching rotation, you tell yourself, hey, the Blue Jays are serious. You know what I mean? And then Kikuchi. I love Kikuchi. Kikuchi was a great asset for me when he was in with the Mariners when it came to betting games. And usually when I used to line him up, he used to be a guy that was always a dog pitcher. So pretty much with him, that fifth day, a lot of times they're probably going to have not the top tier guys in the lineup, but I think Kikuchi can be a guy that keeps things honest. And I think that's going to put them over the top. They got one of the better starting pitching rotations in baseball. I think when it comes down to it, though, it's all about the bullpen. But that's literally with every good team in the MLB, in my opinion. So I feel like in the bullpen, they got a lot of good things going for them. They got the old man Sergio Romo in there, so that should be a good guy to advise. Trent Thornton's another really good pitcher who is set to be a pretty good starting pitcher as well, too. But you know how those things go. You get hurt, all that good stuff. Derek Holland, another guy who should be good in the bullpen as well, too, former starting pitcher. Mitch White should be good as well, too. They're putting him at Mitch White is hurt, but he'll probably be a spot starter as well this year. Chad Green, another guy that just was coming off the Yankees and okay. Now, Trevor Richards, another guy that's in the mix for this as well, too. He might be a bullpen guy, but I'm looking at this right now, and their closer situation is what you do question, but I think that should be all worked out by the time we get done with the Jordan Romano had 28 saves last year. I think he should improve upon that, but they still got Eric Swanson. They still got Yimi Garcia as well, too. So I think that, they got guys that will be very, durable this year. So we'll see how it goes. But I do have them winning over 92.5 games this year as well, too. So I think they'll be right there in the thick of things with the Yankees. They're probably going to be a wild card team, if anything. But if anybody else wins this division, it'll be the Blue Jays. But I think the Yankees really got this one kind of sold up, to be honest with you. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But let's go ahead and jump into the AL East winner and the AL East over under. And I know it's pretty obvious. I know it's very obvious because the way I have it set up right now is like this. Orioles over 76.5. If you've been watching the show this week, you know that. Red Sox under 77.5, Yankees over 95, Rays under 88.5, Blue Jays over 92.5. AL East champs, Yankees minus 150. So there it is. That's what we're gonna do here, and that's what it's gonna be. All right. So there it is. The AL East for you next week. We will get into the AL Central next week, and that's probably the one division where we can all say that, man, we know exactly how that's gonna go. You know what I mean? And we really don't, but it's all good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into last night. Number 4, UCLA sweeps Utah with 78-71 road win. Up next, struggling Colorado. Is it a trap game? UCLA last night jumped out to a 12-point lead early. And you guys be careful out there on the road. Flash flood going on right now for the whole Southern California area. So they're going to have a watch until about 10 o'clock tonight. So you guys be careful. That's all I can say is be careful. And if you be careful and live. You know, the car, if you wreck your car, it's okay because cars can be replaced, but people can't be replaced. So, all right. You got UCLA last night. They were very good in the first half, but then they kind of ran into a little bit of trouble in the second half. They gave up an uncharacteristic amount of points in the second half. They gave 40 points. You know, UCLA doesn't – they play good defense, but they gave 31 in the first half, 40 in the second half. I think that they made this a game where they were more focused in on getting good buckets and getting good shots. Jaime had 23 last night to lead all scorers. Then Tiger had 18 as well. Amari Bailey had 7. Jalen Clark had 9, and then Bona had 6. Off the bench, though, big time. Dylan Andrews was good last night. He wound up having 10 points last night. Dylan Andrews, the freshman, I think is going to be a guy who's going to be very key during the tournament. Dave Singleton, a guy who's the three-point marksman. He didn't have one Dave Singleton night, but he wound up hitting a 3, though, last night. So he keeps his consecutive streak going. And a guy I like a lot, and I think that he has a bright future at UCLA, is Mac Eteen. Mac Eteen was in the game last night, and he actually had a few points. He only got 1 rebound, but that guy is high energy, in my opinion. I think that he's somebody that you can go ahead and really my bad, somebody's asking me a question right now. Somebody who wants to kind of watch the show, I guess. So, sorry, guys. Yeah, but all in all, UCLA is looking like a very, very profitable situation. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think that a lot of us have to understand that when it comes down to this team, the Bruins, that they're thinking Final Four. It's that simple. They're just thinking Final Four right now. And they're thinking national championship, but they are taking one game at a time. They know that they're one of the best teams in their conference, and they know that things are going to be really, really tough. What's up, Mr. Osman Kareem Jr.? How you doing, buddy? Much love to my nephew. That's my dog right there. Hopefully he got his big bets going in this weekend as well, too. You know what I mean? So I just want to big shots out. Always watching the show. I truly do appreciate it. Yeah, but all in all, this is going to be a very, very good weekend for UCLA because this makes you tournament tough because these are games that they're supposed to win, but these are the games you wind up losing a lot of times. You know what I mean? So they wound up getting a good win over Utah where it's always tough to win at. Now, they got to go to Colorado and play against a Colorado team that actually was right there in the thick of things with them in the first half. They were actually up 3 last time they played. And Colorado did lose the other night, though, to USC. They were a slight favorite as well, too, but they wound up getting cooked by USC the other night. And they haven't looked good in their last 2 games either. They've lost their last 3 out of 5 as well. And all 3 of those losses were by double digits. So UCLA really can't slack a minute in this one. They actually beat them by 14 last time out. So I truly do feel that this one is going to be a very, very tricky game. UCLA is going to get their absolute best from Colorado. Colorado is running out of time right now because Colorado at first had aspirations of being a tournament team. They're 15-14 right now. They're damn near out of the NIT right now. So they have to they got to step it up. And I know that stepping it up means that a big win over UCLA looks good on the resume. But UCLA has to understand you have to keep this thing going. And I think this upperclassmen do understand that part. But you got to keep this thing going in a positive direction so we can keep this confidence going as well too. I think that they still got that sour taste in their mouth about what happened against the Tar Heels last year. So UCLA, all in all, I think should be good money against Colorado, but they have to take them very seriously. It can't be any ifs, ands, and buts and stuff and whatever. And, yeah, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But pretty much there it is with that. We move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about the Saturday top games. Saturday top games in CBB. We got a ton of them. Big 12 is playing tomorrow. The Big East is playing tomorrow. The Pac-12 is playing tomorrow. Sorry about that. I actually moved myself out of the screen, but the ACC is playing tomorrow, all that good stuff. So pretty much we start off first with Baylor and Texas. Baylor and Texas. Let's get it on. That's all you can say about this one right here is that you got a rematch coming. You know what I mean? And these are arch rivals right here as well. And Baylor is feeling good because they got a national championship in basketball. Texas is over here trying to win their first national championship in basketball. They haven't even been considered as one of those teams, but you're gonna have to take them seriously. They're here, and Baylor, they did beat them at Moody by 5. Okay, and that was a pretty good game. You had Cryer, who was good that day, but Rice was better with 21. And then also, you just had a good back and forth that went on in this game. And Texas was able to finish the job. It was that simple, but it was one of their toughest games of the season. And now they have to go to Waco. Baylor coming into this game playing their best basketball, even though they're coming up fresh off of a loss, fresh off of 2 losses in a row, but they had won 4 in a row and actually had won 10 out of 11 before getting upended by Kansas and Kansas State. So when you look at that situation, both were road games and both were against 2 really good teams. You know what I mean? The Kansas boys are balling. But, Baylor's number 9 for a reason. They got street cred out here because they won a national championship. So they got the street cred to prove their point. So pretty much with that, I truly do feel that this is going to be a game that they're going to be really, really, really motivated in. But Texas is going to be really motivated in this game as well, too. And Texas knows that this makes them look that much better when it comes to the seeding as well, too. And this may guarantee the 1 seed, if they're able to go ahead and do what they got to do, and have a good little run in the Big 12 tournament and possibly win the Big 12 tournament. But it all starts here. And you have to measure this up as a tournament game. So both teams are not going to be playing with the regular mentality of this is just a regular season game. They're going to be playing with the mentality of teams that are playing for the tournament. So there it is. There it is. I like Texas in this game. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. All right, we move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about Indiana and Purdue. Indiana, Purdue. This should be another really good game as well, too. Indiana and Purdue is going to be one where you have a lot of different things going on in this game. You have a possible Naismith winner in Trace, and then you have a team in Purdue that's a possible national champion because this might be the best group that Purdue's ever put together because they're winning the games that, are supposed to be tough for them. They go in there and they really go in there and break you up. And that's what makes Purdue a team that you have to take very seriously. Purdue, though, they have been struggling here in their last 5. They've dropped their last 5, including losing to Indiana in Bloomington by 5. But it's understandable. Indiana was playing great basketball that day. They jumped out to a 15-point lead in the first half, didn't look back. But Purdue was able to get the game down to single digits. They were lost by 5. They won the second half. So I'm going off the fact that they're going to take that momentum from that second half and probably bring it into this game. And they'll probably wipe the floor with Indiana, to be honest with you, because they've lost their last 3 out of 5, but all three of those losses are on the road. When you look at everything that's happened to them this year, everything happens on the road. They lost to Rutgers at home, but it seems like Rutgers has some type of a voodoo over the Purdue because they beat them last year as the number 1 team in the nation. So I think Purdue rolls in this one. I don't think that they have any issues in this game. I like Indiana. Indiana's great, but Indiana is going to have real problems here because Purdue is looking to right these wrongs. They're at home. It's a big rivalry game. I don't see them losing this one. Let's move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about it's a mid-major game, but it's the West Coast Conference. West Coast Conference is literally almost a better conference than the Pac-12 this year, even though you still got Arizona and UCLA as top 10 teams, but you got St. Mary's and Gonzaga as top 15 teams. And Gonzaga would still be in the top 5, top 10 if they didn't struggle so hard in the first of the season. And they have lost to teams in their conference this year. I think that they even had their conference record broken this year. They lost to Loyola Marymount, and they did lose to St. Mary's to start to already off top. So, St. Mary's is on the road. That was a good home win that they had over Gonzaga. And, they're coming back around to it, and they're looking to get a big win here because they beat them by 8 at home. And their last loss was against Loyola Marymount. Loyola Marymount might be the winners of the West Coast Conference tournament this year. And, I knew Loyola Marymount was going to be tough when they smoked Georgetown, but who hasn't smoked Georgetown this year? So when I look at this one, this is a big game for St. Mary's. At the end of the day, Gonzaga knows that they're going to make the tournament because Gonzaga has street cred. It's that simple. They got street cred. They're already an at-large type team. They are a team that still has the possibility of possibly winning a national championship. I think what happens here is that Gonzaga has a big game. This is a big revenge spot for them. They know that they can't mess around with St. Mary's either. I think it could be an overbet, but it will be one of those overbets that is not going to be helpful. There's not going to be helpful for the guy who feels that he's being sharper than Johnny Public. So I like Gonzaga in this spot. I think it's probably going to be the most public spot of the weekend, and I think it just really does speak to being a public place. So I'll take Gonzaga 24-5 to go ahead and keep things a little spicy and for the pepper in the West Coast Conference. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my first break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into the NBA. We're going to talk Lakers, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the NBA Friday night. And then after that, we get into talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are. We are back. let's go ahead and jump into it. Lakers last night. The Lakers were really good last night. And, Laker fans, we all rejoicing. We getting a little excited now because we got a team. We got a team again. We got a team of guys that actually want to show up and play basketball now. You don't have DoorDash drivers. You don't have guys that are taking photographers' cameras and trying to show them trying to show refs bad calls and purposely literally losing us 4 games by getting late technicals. Who else was a culprit of just being a culprit? You know what I mean? Because a lot of all the bad Lakers got sent somewhere else. Russell Westbrook, I have no issues with Russell. Russell was trying his absolute best, but when you don't have one of your teammates playing any defense, you're gonna keep getting blamed when you take when you take bad shots. You know what I mean? It's that simple. But you're trying your hardest to help this team win a basketball game, while the other guy's just more worried about breaking a scoring record. But it's all good. Now he has his focus back because now the scoring record's over with, and the Lakers realize that the Western Conference has been waiting around for them all season. So pretty much here we are. The Lakers are – I'm not going to say the Lakers are back, but the Lakers are in position to be better than being a playoff team. I mean, a play-in team. And getting rid of Russell was probably the best thing you could possibly do right now because it just helped the Lakers breathe a little bit because you got to always answer questions about him to the media. These guys loved Russ. It was the media that had the biggest problem with him. And you guys can see that now because now what they're trying to do is nitpick the Clippers. But as AD said, we're not worried about the Clippers here. We only worried about the Lakers. And now the Lakers are in position to where now LeBron is the only thing is LeBron's spotlight. That means that he has to step it up, and that's what he's going to have to do because now you can't use Russell Westbrook as the scapegoat. Everybody knows that AD is not the guy that you can really trust to move your franchise forward. But I think that the trades that they made were more to complement him more than LeBron. We're building this thing around AD, and I think if once AD gets all the way back mentally healthy, meaning that he's not worried about getting hurt like, he was when he was getting 40, 50 points for a week, each game. I think that what happens here is that as long as he takes over and it becomes a dominant player and keeps himself inside and getting himself as many opportunities to score as possible, and LeBron just kind of doesn't take it easy, but LeBron just finds his way. I think the Lakers will be in great shape. Malik Beasley shooting the ball lights out. Troy Brown was very significant last night as well, too. I just love the way the bench played last night. Schroeder was so key to leading that unit last night and making them look really good. Also, Lonnie Walker he's finally back healthy. But I think Austin Reeves was probably the biggest factor last night because Austin Reeves was able to go 6 for 6 last night, and all his buckets were huge, and he was another really good defender. That's the thing that you like the most about these new guys with the Lakers is that they play defense. Shit, Mo Bamba even hit a 3 last night. So the Lakers actually had their best shooting game of the season last night from 3. The Lakers actually were 53% from the three-point line. They hit 16 of them last night, 16 out of 30 to be exact. And then they were really good from the field. They were 48.8 as well too. But the thing that I loved the most was 58 rebounds for the Lakers last night. 30 assists for the Lakers last night. 14 turnovers. We can go without that because the Warriors only had 10, but I just gave you some great numbers right there. The Lakers are absolutely turning that corner right now. And if you guys don't think a winning streak is coming, then you guys just don't know no basketball. Yes, it's going to be tough. You have Dallas coming up next. Then you have, I think, Oklahoma City. Then you got Memphis. Yeah, those 3 games are going to be tough. But you got to win these games, right? Because these teams are all vying for a playoff spot as well, too. And you got to put yourself in a playoff mentality. And I think that's exactly what the Lakers can do. Now, last night, when you look at 5 players go for double figures, and I didn't even talk about Hachimura. Hachimura was absolutely incredible last night. He had 14 points, 5 of 9, but he looked so smooth on pull-ups. You know what I mean? It was just fun to watch. But Mo Bamba, 10 points, 13 rebounds. That's exactly what you're looking for from your center. Okay? Vanderbilt didn't get much playing time last night, but he was still good as well, too. He had 9 rebounds last night. AD had 12. Before, it was only AD getting double-digit rebounds and everybody else watching. Now you got guys that are aggressive to get that ball. So the Lakers are in the right type of shape right now to put themselves in the 6 hole. And I already said 6 seed loading when the Lakers made all those trades. So I truly still feel that the Lakers are a playoff team. I felt like they've been a playoff team when they were 2-10 as well, too. So pretty much right now, the Lakers are better strike while the iron is hot. And they are now getting deep while the rest of the NBA is starting to deal with a lot of, nagging injuries and nagging attitudes. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. Lakers don't play again until Sunday on ABC versus the Dallas Mavericks. And that should be a fun one when you got AD and LeBron locking it up with Kyrie and Luka. All right. So there it is. Oh, man, we got the emergency thing going off. It's must be all bad outside because I'm inside. I haven't been outside all day. So I'm going to go outside and check in a moment. But, damn, it seems like it's going down right now. It's going down out in the streets. You know what I mean? Raining like cats and dogs, So pretty much let's go ahead and jump into it. And we got ourselves the Knicks and the Wizards tonight for our NBA Friday night kickoff. NBA Friday night. We got some really good games tonight. We got a lot of games. We got 8 games tonight, but these are some games that we are very invested in my opinion. So you have the New York Knicks tonight going against the Washington Wizards. I'm trying to guess if this is going to be their last game against each other for the year because they played each other a ton, and I know I've covered this game a few times as well, too, with you guys. So I look at the Knicks and I say, man, Knicks, you fellas is playing some good basketball again. You guys the Knicks are 6-2 this month. Now, when it comes to playing the Wizards, I'm trying to find it because I know they played Washington a few times this year. Now, Washington, you guys got to understand, Washington and New York used to be some real hated rivals when they all used to be in the Atlantic Division. So, it's always fun when you see DC playing against NYC. So, you got that measure in your hand. Now, they did beat Washington by 4 in Washington last month, but then the Wizards came to the Garden and beat them by 11. So, they're split right now. And I think when it comes down to this one right here, you got, as I said before, the Knicks 6-2 this month, and then you got the Wizards who are actually 4-4 this month. So this is kind of an even matchup in a sense, and we know that the over/under here in this spot is a little low for this game in a sense, but you got the Wizards being a slight dog, but I think that this is really just a pick'em game because when you look at the spread, you got the Knicks at -115 and you got the Wizards at -105. Usually when you see that line, that means it's going to be a spreader. So pretty much I like the under. I like the over 226.5 at 226 because it's jumped to 226. I think that both teams are scoring tonight. And, the Knicks are just going to be that much of a better team now moving forward because Hart with Brunson is just, you're bringing in guys who are high IQ guys. So that's going to work out very well for you. And when you look at the Knicks in their playoff position right now, that the Knicks are always good money for the NBA when they're in the playoffs. They're sitting in the 6th spot right now, right above the Southeast leading Miami Heat. So they're trying to catch Brooklyn, which they're probably going to do because they are 2 games behind Brooklyn. But, Brooklyn is sitting in the position right now that it's like impossible that they'll be that they're not going to be a playing team. Even though you want better for the Knicks, you just know that that's probably going to be the end result for these guys. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a really good game. And I truly do feel like this one is tough to pick a winner, but it's easy to jump on that scoreboard. And I'm going to take the under 226.5. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. So we have ourselves the Heat and the Bucks tonight. The Heat and the Bucks. This one is a game between two of the better teams in the NBA, right? Two of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, if not the NBA. And yeah, like I said before, Miami's sitting on the outside looking in, half game out. The Bucks are actually 2 games ahead of Philadelphia right now, and a game outside of the number 1 seed right now. So you got 2 and 7 playing against each other. So if we were to start the playoffs today with no play-in, it would be Miami and Milwaukee in the first round. Now, Miami definitely doesn't want to be in the spot if they're winning their division, but you know that in the new NBA they got to play in, so they don't really care if you're not playing well within your division. You need to be in in the group. But it's crazy because the worst division in basketball has to be the Southeast, and the best division in basketball is Pacific. Let me tell you the difference is why. Because you got 3 of your top teams in the Southeast, they're all in play-ins, and then the other 2 teams are in a position where they're not going to make the playoffs at all. So kind of, it might be, the bad, just terribleness of the Charlotte Hornets kind of rubbing off on everybody. So when I look at this one, I got a Miami team that actually has turned the corner as well too. They weren't really good to start the season off. That's why they're sitting in the 7th seed right now. They're kind of having a bad month as well too. They're 3-4 right now. But they just came off of losing the last 2 in a row, and this team really has been able to get a break. This is going to be their first game since last Wednesday, so they got a good break. But this is a part of their a nice little road trip that they got going as well too. This is the second of their 4-game road trip, and after tonight, it does get a little bit easier when they fly to Charlotte tomorrow, but then it gets that much more difficult when they got to go to Philadelphia on Monday. So tonight is a good spot for them to get a good win, but the Bucks to me are a machine, the champions of 2021, and I think that they're just going to play some really good defense tonight. This is going to wind up being a close game, but I think the Bucks wind up actually winning this game. I know that you don't have the I know you're dealing with the fact that Giannis is out, but this team has championship players to it. So I'm not worried about that part. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And pretty much that's what it's going to be. So there it is, Heat and Bucks. And I'm going to take the Bucks as the slight favorite tonight. And they got a minus 115 on them. It's probably going to jump to probably minus 121, minus 125. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our next game, and that's going to be the Hornets and the Wolves. This one is not hard to talk about. The Hornets, you see their record, 17-43. The Wolves, 31-30. The Wolves have worked themselves into position to where they're in the playoffs right now in the Western Conference. They couldn't say that same thing about 6 weeks ago when they were struggling left and right. But they're not having the greatest month right now either. They're 500, 4-4, but they're switching off wins and losses right now as well too. Losing their last game last week to Washington, losing to them by 8 at home. So tonight, they're playing against Charlotte. Charlotte is a team that, is really bad, but Charlotte can surprise you though if they can catch you slipping. You know what I mean? They definitely can catch you slipping. And I don't think that Minnesota wants to be caught slipping again like they did last week against Washington. And it seems like it's their night to win a game. So I like them with the 6.5. I don't need to really go too far with this one because, come on now, the Hornets just aren't good. Come on. They dropped their first 6 games of the month. They're 2-6. Yeah, they've won their last 2 in a row, but come on. They beat a division rival in Atlanta, and they've been back and forth with Atlanta, and they had to have like the craziest game ever with Atlanta to win that game. You know what I mean? It was a 144-138. And then San Antonio, come on, dude. But they've had a week off. The 6.5 looks like it's a bit much, but I think that 6.5 is going to be money, and some more money. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. And also to my people that I told that to, the bet is going to look a little funny when it comes down to who where the Bucks are at, but I'm going off of what the Bucks were before the lines flipped, because you got to understand they took them off the board. So there it is. There it is. We move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about the Thunder and the Suns. This is going to be another really good game. You got the Suns coming in here, 6.5-point favorite. Thunder are 28-30. They are sitting kind of pretty right now. They're a team that's looking to, keep things going and keep frustrating everybody, because they were not supposed to be in a play-in position. This team is sitting at number 11 right now, half a game out behind Utah. Then you have Phoenix, who's sitting in the 5-hole, and Phoenix was actually like in the 10-hole a few weeks back when they had that 9-game losing streak, when they lost 9 out of 10. So now they're sitting pretty after they've won their last 7 out of 10, and they are actually in good position right now to find themselves in the 4-hole if they're able to get a good win tonight against the Thunder, because Sacramento is playing against the Clippers tonight. And Sacramento is the number 1 team in the Pacific and the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. So they're only behind them due to losses. They're 32-28. Sacramento's 33-25. So these are some big games tonight between these 3 teams. In a sense, these are some big games going for these 3 teams, because the Clippers are playing the Kings, Phoenix is playing Oklahoma City, and the Lakers are trying to catch people right now. The Lakers are only a game behind Oklahoma City at this moment, okay? And they are half a game behind Portland. So I'm saying to myself, if the Lakers are able to get this win tonight, then they'll be a half a game back outside of this situation with Oklahoma City if Oklahoma City loses. But at the end of the day, the Lakers can only worry about the Lakers. You can't worry about what the Thunder are going to do, what the Suns are going to do. The Lakers just got to win the games that they're supposed to win. Now, Shea being questionable doesn't really even hinder my decision on taking the Suns. The Suns are one of the better home teams in the NBA, especially in spots where they're playing against teams that are supposed to be some of the better teams in the NBA. Their problems arise against teams that are well below 500. Now, OKC, they did have their way a little bit with them in Oklahoma City, but this is in Oklahoma City, and if your best player is kind of gimpy going into the game, I'd much rather trust the Suns here tonight, and we'll see how it goes and see how it shakes out. But I like the under 231.5 tonight, to be honest with you. I think that's what happens because their best player is supposed to be out, right? So that means scoring is going to be a little down tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Kings and the Clippers. And the Clippers coming back tonight, feeling good, feeling great. They got Russell Westbrook in the lineup tonight as well too. It should be a lot of fun for them, but I think that with the media having their 2 cents and already trying to kind of kill the Clippers' momentum as a team, I think that this is going to be a big distraction game. And I think what happens when you have big distraction games is that you wind up losing those games. Now, the Clippers are 5-4 this month, okay? And they're coming fresh off of a win last Thursday against Portland where they smacked them by 17. But now tonight, that's the Kings that smacked Portland actually last night. I'm sorry about that. Clippers, on the other hand, they haven't played since last week, but they beat the Suns. They beat the Suns by 9, and the 2 nights before, they beat the Warriors by 10. So I'm looking at this right now, and I see that you have a team that's 4-3 this month in the Clippers. Okay, and the Clippers were pretty good. The Clippers were pretty good on the road, it looks like, this month. They're actually 3-1, but at home, they've struggled. They're 1-2. So that's something that I look at, and I think that the Kings tonight are confident in themselves because they are going to be all over the Clippers tonight. They're going to be talking the Clippers up, but the Clippers are going to be making a lot of mistakes tonight because they got to get used to having Russell Westbrook on the team. And I think that the Clippers have pressure on them. And whenever the Clippers start having people talk negative about them and trying to say that what they're going to be and what they're not going to be, that's when they get into a little bit of trouble. So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment with Russell Westbrook to the Clippers. So tonight, I got to always have a dog. I'm going to go with the team that's the number one team in the Pacific Division, who's had their way with the Clippers this year as well too. And I'm going to take the Kings with the plus 220 money line. Let's go. That's all I can say is let's mug go. All right. You know what I mean? I could cuss on the show, but I'm too grown for all that all the time. So pretty much let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and take that bet. Plus 220 Kings. Let's get it. With that, we're going to take another quick break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into Talking Tickets. So stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back, and let's go ahead and jump into Talking Tickets. Talking Tickets. Let's go ahead and get that bread. You know what time it is. You know what time it is, nephew. All right, so here we are. 38-1, PrimeTime PK6. We got Georgia Southern minus 130 tonight. We got Queens College plus 15.5. Iona with the minus 9.5 tonight. We got Lafayette with the minus 4.5. We also have Richmond tonight with the plus 9. And then we have Nevada with the minus 160. There it is. There it is. All right, we move forward to the 57-1 DogDay PK4. We're going to go with Bellarmine. Once again, Bellarmine got us some money the other night. They cashed out at plus 145, I think, 140, something like that, or possibly plus 175, something like that. But they cashed out. They won. And then we got St. Peter's plus 145 tonight on the road. That should be a good one for us as well, too. And then we got Arkansas State plus 165 money line as well, too. And then we wrap it up with Seattle U plus 230, and this is going to be a 57-1 ticket. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And let's go ahead and wrap it up with the NBA Super High Five, which is actually going to be a 40-1 ticket. But right now, pretty much we might need to flip it up a little bit because the Bucks aren't going to be that low of a number. They're actually at 4.5, so they're possibly coming in here as a minus 160, minus 170. So I'll flip that up for you. So it probably will go down to about a 32-1, 30-1, something of that nature. But we got Bucks money line tonight. And then we also have the over 226 with the Knicks and the Wizards tonight. I really do like that bet tonight as well. And then we got the Wolves tonight with probably the easiest call of the weekend, in my opinion. Even though, we got to take the Hornets series, LaMelo, all that good stuff. But I think the Wolves will have it in them to they'll have it in them to go ahead and get the win tonight, in my opinion. And then we have the under 230.5 with the Thunder and the Suns. So that should be another good one as well, too. Really good game tonight. I already know that the Suns arena is going to be rocking. I know next time I'm in Arizona, hopefully they'll be in town. I can go watch them play. I know I'll definitely probably be out there this summer to watch the Dodgers play the Diamondbacks. That Chase Center looked pretty cool. So, hey, because keep it real. It's really easy to watch a game in downtown Phoenix because, you could possibly have a day game and then a night game. You don't have to go anywhere. literally the stadium is right next to, these stadiums are right next door to each other. The football stadium is in Glendale, so that's about 20 minutes away. So pretty much we wrap it up with the Kings with the plus 220 tonight money line. So this will probably change up. So I'm gonna tweet this out, but it's gonna be a different number on the Bucks. So pretty much there it is. The NBA Super High Five for tonight. That's gonna be a wrap for today's show. Man, I've been at this thing for the last 2 hours. Okay. And literally I'm doing this because I know tomorrow I'm going to actually be able to chill out and watch some college basketball. And that's exactly what I want to do. Been at the show all week this week. I love doing it as well. So don't act like I don't love doing this. And as I said before, I got brand new interviews up on Fanatics View as well too. Well, not brand new, but the ones that you guys been kind of waiting on as well. I've been waiting on them for sure. But yeah, I got Rashad Ellis today. I got also Solomon Wilcots. We also have Kenny Mayne, and I also have the Schmo. So pretty much you guys check that out on Fanatics View as well too. Also had some more that were put up yesterday. So yeah, you guys be on the lookout for all of that. But I'll be back Monday. I look forward to it as well too. It should be a great weekend of college basketball. And also a great weekend of boxing as well, as I already said on All In, that you guys need to take the over 6.5 when it comes to Paul and Fury on Sunday. And then we'll be watching some other matches this weekend as well too. They're with smaller guys, but it should be good. We got some PBC card. We got a PBC card this weekend, and I think we got a ladies bout this weekend as well too. So there it is. There it is. All right, so I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. And this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And as I always like to say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.